Hey there friend, Zach here, and as you can see, I'm back from New York City.
New York treated me well. I had the opportunity to visit some historic attractions, meet many new faces, and of course, stop by the Nintendo store. Seriously, if you haven't had the opportunity to visit that store, I encourage you to give it a go. Whenever you have the chance to stop by New York City, or if you live there and have never visited, put that place on your to-do list. You won't regret it. But, as mentioned before, I'm back in my hometown of Cincinnati and ready to get back to work. So let's talk about Mario Party.
4.
As you already might know, there are a ton of Mario Party games out there for you to choose from. Some are great, and some are disappointing. So, after careful consideration, I'm going to talk about the one that gives us a blend of both, Mario Party 4. The transition from Mario Party 3 to Mario Party 4 was a very important one, because it also marked the transfer of Mario Party games from the Nintendo 64 to the Nintendo GameCube. Newer graphics, a different controller, more power, all of these gave the developers new ideas to work with when designing a title. One of the most important features of any Mario Party is the wide selection of minigames. Each minigame would find new and creative ways to use the controller. Well, as creative as you could get at the time. So from the Nintendo 64 controller, we got rid of this, these, added on this, a few more of these, and bam! You got yourself a new controller. But enough about the hardware, let's get to the game itself. As soon as you boot the game up and get past the logos, you are greeted with the opening cutscene, and some mediocre animation. A giant bag comes out of a cloud, and Mario and the gang are mesmerized and curious. We are then greeted to some of the most hilarious reactions I've ever seen. The bag explodes in midair, thus revealing a giant party block. Toad, Koopa Troopa, Shy Guy, Goomba, and Boo jump out and are seen standing on top of the block. Toad invites everyone to a big party they are hosting. One question I always had was where Mario got this envelope from. I mean, you can see in the beginning him running or skipping or whatever he was doing, without any envelope in his hands, and Toad doesn't just throw any of them down. Also, does he give everyone an envelope or just Mario? Where did he even— I'm going on for too long about this.
This is the part of the video where I have to be truthful with you. It brings me great, immense pain to inform— You know what, I actually feel like some appropriate music would be nice. There we go. Anyway, it brings me great and immense pain to inform you that I am using an emulator.
Okay, the gig is up. I am using an emulator for Mario Party 4. The main reason behind that is just because, well, simply enough, I don't have a physical copy of Mario Party 4 on my person. And I wanted to let you know now because going on throughout the video, you might see an issue with the text boxes where they looked a little glitched out. That's just because there was some issue with the ISO and Dolphin itself. I could not figure it out for the life of me, so I figured I'd just let you know now before there was any further confusion. Anyway, back to the video. You are then greeted to a few different modes to choose from. You've got your usual party mode where you can play with your friends and ruin the friendship that you had before starting up this game. But my friends Tic Tac and Toe are too busy to play this game with me, so I don't have to worry about that. Or if you don't have friends, you have a single player campaign to go through as well. It's a pretty basic story, but we'll get to that in just a second. You've also got a minigame mode in case you want to try and keep your friendship alive, but still have fun at the same time. Options room for options. Present room to view your Wait, I'm not supposed to talk about this yet. And the extra room, which contains some extra minigames for you to play. Let's start off with the story to this game. You might think that for a Mario Party game, the story isn't anything super exciting or anything to delve into. To which I say, you're exactly right, it's just a celebration of your birthday. That's kind of it. Video over. No, there is more to it, of course. Each host wants to give you a present for your birthday, but for some reason you have to play on their board and win, as well as beat them in their own minigames. So let me ask this, are they really presents if you have to work for them? Great birthday so far, if you ask me. Well, once you get all of their presents, Bowser shows up and steals all of them. So being the hero that you are, you challenge Bowser on his board and in an epic final battle to retrieve them. Once you defeat Bowser, you get all of your presents back, and then you find out that you actually have one more present that wasn't ever given to you yet. You are then greeted to one of the most wholesome endings in any Mario Party game. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. When you beat the story mode for the first time, you actually unlock Bowser's gnarly party to play on in regular parties. Okay, story time over. Let's talk about the main focus of the game, the party mode. And my feelings are, well, mixed. Let me start off with what I like about the game. First off, I think the transition from the Nintendo 64 to the GameCube was done wonderfully. Yes, there are some aspects that could have been better, such as animations, but I can honestly look past that. Another thing I loved about Mario Party 4 are the minigames themselves. For starters, this was actually the first Mario Party game that I have ever played, so you could argue that nostalgia is coming into play when I say that. There are a total of 60 different minigames to play. I don't necessarily intend to go over every single one of them, but the three that I find myself going back to over and over again are the Great Deflate, Dungeon Duos, and Bowser's Bigger Blast, although that one in particular is more of a guilty pleasure. I'm not a huge fan of RNG by any means, but when you are playing with your friends, it makes for a hilarious and thrilling time to see if the lever you push down on is going to be safe, or the detonation of the huge Bowser bomb behind you. But with every good minigame, there comes a bad one. Again, I don't intend to go over every single minigame, but 3 minigames that are just horrible are Right or Left, Candlelight Flight, and go! Now, what's my biggest gripe with Mario Party 4? Well, that would have to probably be the boards themselves. Don't get me wrong, I know that the boards themselves aren't the main focus of the Mario Party series, but rather the minigames you compete in. But the boards in Mario Party 4 are just flat out boring to me. For starters, they just seem too flat. For comparison, I have a few boards from other Mario Party titles. This is Toy Dream from Mario Party 5. Look at how you work your way upward and then back down. The aesthetic is super pleasing, and it fits well with the name, Toy Dream, with building blocks and even a giant train set going around the board. This is DK Jungle Adventure from the very first Mario Party on the Nintendo 64. Yes, the map itself is pretty flat with no mountains or hills to go up or down, but the theme is perfect. You are literally in the middle of the jungle with a number of trees surrounding you, making you feel like you are right there. This is Goomba's Greedy Gala from Mario Party 4. Okay, I can kinda make out the fact that we are playing in a casino with all the huge coins around the board, but the colors are just horrendous. Everything just seems so dark. Okay, I know a few of you might say that the boards are amazing, and that's totally fine. I'm just not a huge fan of the dark colors and the settings of the boards myself. When I think of a good board, I tend to always go back to Mario Party 5's Toy Dream. The colors and aesthetics are bright and lively, and the board isn't flat, giving you a better sense of adventure. I will say that my favorite board from Mario Party 4 would probably have to be Toad's Midway Madness. It's supposed to be the most basic board to play on in the game, but that honestly doesn't really matter to me that much. I like how there is a roller coaster going across the board, meaning that if anyone lands on a space on the coaster track, anyone else standing on the track will be forced to move off, and it's always a mystery whether or not you will be moving closer to the star or further away. Okay, enough about the boards themselves, let's talk about what you can do on them. This game, just like every other Mario Party game, except for a few of them, decides the winner based on who has the most stars at the end of the game. You can get these stars with coins you earn throughout the game. I'm positive that if you are watching this video, you probably already know how Mario Party games run, but I figure I may as well go through it just because Mario Party 4 is a few different spaces compared to the other titles. Landing on a blue space gives you 3 coins, landing on a red space takes away 3 coins. These question mark spaces are event spaces that activate the event that you are standing next to. These spring spaces will launch you to the same space as a random player on the board. These mushroom spaces will give you 2 different chests to choose from, either one giving you a mega mushroom or a mini mushroom. Don't be fooled though, just because you chose the bigger chest does not mean that you will get the mega mushroom every time, or vice versa with the mini mushroom in the small chest. Some of the more interesting spaces include these Bob-omb spaces, which activate a battle minigame for everyone to play. Battle minigames are your usual minigames, but you will bet coins on them, and the number of coins you bet is random. You also have the Bowser spaces, and these have random results as well. Either something will happen that affects all players during that turn, or you will end up playing a Bowser minigame. These minigames are designed to where if you lose, Bowser will take something of yours away, either coins or a star. You also have a very rare chance of getting a Bowser suit. This item was in Mario Party 2 and 3 beforehand. With this item equipped, any character you pass will give up a whopping 30 coins. And then there's the Fortune space. Oh boy, this space in particular is 90% of the reason alone that friends start to hate each other. Once you land on this space, you are taken up to the sky and greeted by all the hosts. You then get to be the Chaos Bringer and randomly choose 2 players and what they will be giving to one another. Sometimes you can end up having one player give up their coins to the other player, or even stars. Now, you might think that you have to use a dice block to decide the 2 victims, but you actually use a pinball pachinko hybrid. You have to pull the lever back and launch the ball to the top of the machine, and wherever it lands will decide who and what are involved. I can kind of understand why it's done this way too. See, with the dice block style, you might be able to time your jump just perfectly in order to choose what you want. This machine does not exactly let you decide, you just get to be the one to launch the ball in the first place. Now, aside from the spaces, you also have some stops you can make along the way. You have your item shop, which is, well, pretty self-explanatory. I will say though that my favorite item has to be the genie lamp. Yeah, I know it's kinda cheap, just immediately taking you to the star and all, but I always found the cutscene that played to be hilarious, just seeing a ginormous genie that I admittedly thought was a chicken at first, falling to the ground. A boost station, I don't even think it has a name really, where you can have a boost steal coins or a star from a chosen opponent. And an exclusive station, a lottery. With these, you're either given a scratch-off ticket, or a machine that lets you crank a lever for a ball to pop out. The jackpot prize for both of these games is 100 coins, but there are a few prizes below that as well. Also, by stopping at one of these stations, you are given a lottery ticket that will be used for a drawing during the last 5 turns of your game, where the host spins a roulette wheel to see if your ticket matches whatever the roulette lands on. If the wheel lands on the 3 characters that match your ticket, you win a star. I've been going on for a long time here, so let's wrap up with the extra room. The extra room gives you access to even more minigames, but these minigames are exclusive to this mode. Swamp's Backroom Ball is a multiplayer mode using 2 exclusive boards. However, you don't play any minigames. You do end up unlocking extended versions of 2 minigames, but you win the mode if you have the most coins at the end of the match. Womp's Basement Brouhaha, I think I said that right, is simply a collection of single-player minigames. When you beat all of these minigames, you unlock Beach Volley Folly, a simple volleyball-themed minigame where you can actually host your own tournament and play as different characters exclusive to that game.
And that's Mario Party 4 for you. I had all these other Mario Party titles I could have chose from, sure, but Mario Party 4 was always the one that stuck out to me for some reason. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the most perfect Mario Party title by any means, but standing out isn't always a bad thing.
Hey, thank you so much for watching today. This video went on a little longer than I thought it was going to, but that's okay, the more the merrier. Next time I'm going to be going over a game that is, I guess you could call it a bit of a curveball compared to the games that we have been going over. So definitely be sure and stay tuned for that whenever it does come out. Other than that, I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much, and take care.